What's happening, guys? Welcome back. So another episode on this little Fiesta and trying to get it ready for the next track day on the 15th of October at Mallory Park. Now, we've cooked the brake pads. So the EBC brake pads that were in it are cooked because the driver's side caliper was sticking, which we've now freed off, but they're just falling apart in your hands. So we've got to change the brake pads. We need to change the brake fluid as well because consequently that getting warm has boiled the brake fluid, which why the brakes were going off whilst we were at Mallory the last time. And if you can see under there, there's water on the floor. We've sprung a coolant leak, which we believe is coming from around the thermostat housing. So we've got to change that. But to get to the thermostat, I've got to take the alternator off and a few other bits to get down to it. So that's going to be today's video, trying to sort them bits out. Let's chuck the camera on the tripod and make a start. Right, the camera died, and I've got to charge battery, so I run the other camera, and yeah, that escalated quite quickly. We've obviously now had to take all of the front end off, bumpers down there, headlights down there. We have to take the alternator out, which is down there. This is all out, and this is the thermostat housing, and as you can see there, that is the exact problem as to why it was leaking. So I've now got to get a new seal. Hope it comes in time to get it all back together. Seeing as we can't do any more on that until the parts turn up, one thing that I did want to do, I've seen online that people do, is this grille here at the front. You see this big bit at the bottom? It's covering quite a lot of the intercooler or the radiator and all things like that. So what people do is get rid of it. Like what I'm doing on the back is, you can see this here, what I'm doing on here, angle grinder with a flat disc in, and I'm just sanding the back of it away to get rid of it. And it's pretty easy, pretty quick. And hopefully it will help cooling with the car. So I'm just going to carry on doing that. And it's another little free mod. There's that cut then, and as you can see, it gives us all of that extra bit of cooling. Now, behind this thing, there's a bit of bumper, which isn't necessarily causing too much problem, but we've got an air saw, so I'm going to cut it out anyway. The maximum airflow through that bumper is now achieved. Grille all cut away, bumper cut away. We're waiting for parts on this because obviously, me, I didn't order them. As soon as they turn up, we can get the seals back in, get all of that lot back together. We'll bang the new pads in. Not sure if we're going to have time to do the brake fluid, but we shall see. Yeah, we'll leave that on there. I'll see you tomorrow when the parts turn up. Right, new parts have now arrived, all £6 of the 2 gaskets. This is an absolute pain to get back together, and it's got to be back together by the end of the day. So I'm just going to chuck this camera on the side and get on to get this back together, get it back on the road. So let's get it fitted. Okay, new gaskets on, looking nice, and the way that they should do, hopefully. That's going to seal it up and stop the water leak. Right, camera died, but that's all back together. Coolant's in, ran up to temperature, all filled up, everything's okay, and we've got no leaks, which is perfect. We need to get the front bumper back on now to get the front end finished off. But something that I wanted to do, which I mentioned in an earlier episode, was supposed to happen, but hadn't been delivered because of Hermes, and finally turned up, even though apparently they were impossible to find. And we're going to fit these. Now these are to replace the fog lights, and you then take ducting from this to the brakes to help cool the brakes. Because track car. Now, we'll try and run them for a bit. If it works, it works. If it doesn't and the brakes are no good and they get too cold, we should take them back off. But at least these parts are in, we can just take the hose off and it's easy enough to sort. So I've ordered those from a company called Duct 3D. And they are on Instagram, and I bought them off eBay. They're obviously a 3D printed item. Joys of 3D printer. I need to get myself another one because I broke mine. But the way that these fix, basically, is you undo these 2 torque screws on the back, take that off, put that on, 2 torque screws on, and that is as simple as it looks. It's how they fit. So let's get them fitted, and then we'll look at running the ducting I've bought as well onto #TrackCar for brake cooling. Right, now the bumper's on with these new ducts in. I've just chucked the arch liner in just to work out where I'm going to route pipe work. So we'll whip this out. So the pipe wants to come from here, turn about 90 over to this boost pipe along the side of here, and then we'll bring it out. I'm going to put some brackets onto the lower arm to direct it at the brakes. So ducts are in there, and we've got these brackets fixed onto the lower arm pointing at the brakes, cable tied up to this intercooler hose, and then cable tied up here as well. And obviously on full droop that the suspension's on now, there's not pulling on anything, and then when it goes up it won't be pulling on anything either. That side is also done and hopefully going to work the way it should. So that's the coolant leak fixed. Brake cooling all fitted, we've cut away all the front bumper, and another little thing that I did that I didn't actually film was something that I got a couple of comments on in a previous video. So I got rid of that big standard steering wheel, and we've gone for this OMP steering wheel. Now this is a tiny little 300mm one, but having driven the car with it on, it doesn't actually feel that bad, and it's also come with snap off as well, which we don't really need. We've not got a cage, but yeah, we'll get one. Why not? So, steering wheel off, new steering wheel on, looking good. And you've got a nice over to the gear stick as well. So, car is coming along. We are very, very nearly ready for the track day. I've still got a couple of things to do to the car, but I'm just waiting for things to turn up because they're coming from outside the country. So hopefully they turn up in time, and then hopefully we can get the car all set up in time. But we're going to leave that one there then, guys. Who knows what exactly we're going to get up to in the next episode. If you're not already, do consider hitting subscribe so you can find out. But until next time, guys, enjoy.